Hello, thank you for coming to hang out with me today. It is, of course, Deadpool Hit 888, Steven, the intern, and I'm back today for episode 3 of the Intern's Oddities from Around the World. Today, we will be continuing the story of. Oh, yeah, let me go ahead and do that. There we go. Today, we will be continuing the story of Sukima-Onna, or the Gap Woman. And today, we will be introducing a potential husband for the Gap Woman, Sukima-Otoko, known as the Gap Man, one slight variation on the classic story of the Gap Woman. So let's go ahead and get started. So I decided to include some more pictures today, see how that works out. So there are a few variations on the classic story of Sukima-Onna, such as I just mentioned, Sukima-Otoko, who can sometimes be interchangeable with Sukima-Onna. Now, Sukima-Otoko is also said to live within the gaps found throughout our daily lives, and it is said that if you meet his gaze, he will drag you off to another dimension, never to return home again. And that's why, if you look over here, you'll see I have a couple of pictures of some alternate dimensions. I got these from Google, and they have Creative Commons licensing. So there should be no copyright issues or anything like that. We should be all good there. And this one looks pretty cool. It's got like these little rainbow colors going in a circle. I like this. Kind of reminds me of like a Tron-like world, you know? If you've ever seen the old Tron movies, kind of reminds me of that. Looks like a light bike course. Then this one I thought was pretty cool. Reminded me of like some Dwemer stuff, like from Skyrim or Elder Scrolls, you know? Then you got the moon in the background. You got some of this little clock stuff over here. Looks very sci-fi and futuristic. So that's a couple of examples of some other dimensions that Sukima-Otoko might drag you off to. And at other times, someone will approach from behind and say, "Let's play hide and seek," and you must hide. But the catch is that once found, they'll drag you off to another dimension once again. Now, part of the story exclusive to Sukima-Otoko is that right in the middle of his forehead, right here, is said to have been smashed open, but they never gave us a reason as to why it was smashed open. So we don't really know what happened to him. Now, we got another short story for you here. So, one hot summer day, a young Japanese man was watching TV when he decided he was thirsty. So, using the light from the living room, he got up, made his way to the kitchen for a drink, and that was when he saw it. There was a woman standing in the 10-centimeter gap between the fridge and the wall. So she would have been like right over here somewhere between the fridge and the wall. So I got a couple of pictures of, kitchens in the dark. Try to give you a decent little visual for that. See, here's some people hanging out over here. Sukima-Onna might be over here in one of these gaps, Could be hiding under the table, in the rafters somewhere. Ooh, definitely right here. This part definitely looks like a prime place for Sukima-Onna to hide. I like this one though. This one I really feel like gives off that kind of creepy atmosphere with the red light and all that. I feel like this one really gives off that creepy atmosphere pretty well. And you got the fridge over here, so I think this is a pretty good visual. So back to our story after, showing you those little pictures right there. So, of course, when he saw the woman standing between his fridge and the wall and just, the little 10-centimeter space, of course he screamed, you know. And, well, after that, he avoided using the kitchen at night. You know, he didn't have to move out. He didn't have to, change his life too much. Just don't use the kitchen at night. No big deal, right? Now, throughout the stories of Sukima-Onna, the method of attack is often left up to your imagination. However, she will typically trap her victims within their house, and that's if you're lucky. If you're unlucky, she'll take you to another dimension entirely, as we mentioned a moment ago. And if you suspect a friend of being haunted by Sukima-Onna, you should be very careful because they say that once she is often said to attach herself to new people who visit and she will haunt them as well. But as long as your friend is still alive, you should be good because they say she typically won't haunt uh, new people, like she won't go on to a new victim until the previous victim is dead. So I don't know how you want to feel about that, but yeah, that's kind of how it works. She haunts one person until they're gone, and then she finds a new victim. Now, as with most yokai, there isn't really all that much you can do to avoid her or get rid of her once you found her. All you can really do is try and cover all the gaps in your home, but it's almost guaranteed that you'll miss a few because, well, you know, gaps are really tiny. I mean, there's even gaps in my keyboard, you know, like it's insane when you really start to think about how many gaps actually exist in this world. Now, some people might think to call their friends over to see Sukima-Onna, thinking that she will attach herself to them, and then you won't have to worry about her anymore. But as I said a moment ago, she typically won't leave to find a new victim until the previous one has been, let's say, dealt with, you know. Now, in 2014, they even released a film about this legend, which was simply called Sukima-Onna. And in the film, a young office worker by the name of Koharu finds out that her estranged younger sister has been paid a visit by a strange visitor. So her younger sister, named Kyoko, is the one who has been being haunted by Sukima-Onna in this movie. So Koharu, the office worker, decides to go pay her sister Kyoko a visit. Upon visiting her sister's apartment, she finds the entire place covered in packing tape to hide all the gaps, and her sister is weak with exhaustion. Now, she tells her sister how she was on the Kyoko, the younger sister. After she finds her, her younger sister Kyoko tells her how she was on a test of courage, which, if I'm not mistaken, I believe it is called a kaidan in Japanese, kaidan or kaidanki. It's a test of courage that they do, and uh, some will sometimes involve telling 100 scary stories, but I think that's a bit of a different one, so I'm not going to get too far into that. But anyways, it was a test of courage. It's a common thing in Japan. It's like, here in America, we might dare somebody to do something or double dog dare or triple dog dare. Oh no, not the dreaded triple dog dare. But we dare people to do stuff. It's kind of like that, I guess. But anyways, so she was on a test of courage and she was visiting this house because she had been told that it was haunted by Sukima-Onna, the Gap woman. And now, yep, you guessed it, she's been cursed. So Koharu visits the house trying to help her sister, only to discover that someone else has moved into the house now and is also being trapped by Sukima-Onna, not being allowed to leave the house. In 2009, Maruyama Hideto wrote a book called Sukima-Onna, Wide Width. Now, this one's pretty fun. In the story, they actually gave Sukima-Onna a name, and they named her Harimi, meaning beautiful needle, with the Japanese kanji that they used for the name. And Harimi got trapped between the dresser and the wall of a young man named Takumi. Harimi has a problem. Harimi is quite fond of human food, and as a result, has a bit of a weight problem for a Gap woman, and is now, as the title of the book said, wide width. making her the size of a normal human. And as we all know, your average, typical, normal human is probably not going to be the skinniest person. Just saying. We have a bit of a problem in America, and as you can tell, I am part of the problem. It's fine though. But, a gap woman who's supposed to fit in little tiny gaps, for someone like that, yeah, weight gain might be a bit of a problem for a gap woman, you know. Now, I feel like this story was intended to be more lighthearted than most versions because it examines the relationship between these two unconventional roommates, and you know what? It even comes with a happy ending when it's all over. So, I liked this one. It felt kind of like a, I don't know how to put it. My personal mind, it kind of felt like a romantic comedy type story, just from what I briefly read right here. It kind of felt like it was going for like romantic comedy vibes, like date movie or something like that. Kind of silly, kind of romantic. Now, Sukima-Onna, the Gap Woman, has been around for years, and one of the reasons that her popularity continues to grow even today is you never know if you might be the next one to see her because she's everywhere. Like there's so much, going on, and she's been in all these different places. Name one place on this planet that doesn't have a gap. There's gaps everywhere. So I realized that, I probably should have just put this all into one video and, probably shouldn't have separated it, but I just wanted to see how people reacted to about a 10-minute video versus a 20-minute video, but I feel like it didn't do as well, so I'm going to go ahead and go back to the 20-minute time frame. I just wanted to test that out. So I apologize if the last two videos were a bit shorter. We will get back to the 20-minute time frame next week with yokai. So, you know, hopefully we can get into a groove, start doing a little bit better at this. Maybe I can figure some more stuff out, some more stuff to add, stuff to do to make it feel a bit more interactive, maybe, you know. But as of, for now, that's all we got for now. But next week, we will be back next Thursday at 5 4 cent 4, bleh, 5 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will be back on Thursday with yokai. But as for now, just, you know, maybe stay away from gaps if you can. But if you can't, then you might make a new friend soon, you know? So don't forget to keep an eye out for Sukima-Onna coming to a gap near you soon. Well, we will see you on Thursday for our regularly scheduled show at 10:09 Central. And this week we will be discussing weird weather, if I am not mistaken. Hope to see you there. Thanks for coming to hang out. Have a good night.